California Governor Gavin Newsom signs for the first time in history a law that is enacting collegiate athletes to use their image and their name and their likenesses for financial compensation, to monetize, to make money, to get dough, create their own paper, create their own brand, which was the right thing to do. I initially think about Johnny Manziel, and I think about Johnny Manziel using his signature and saying, I want you to pay me for this autograph. Now, I don't agree with it. I think he should just be gracious to fans and sign it. But here's the mentality of Johnny Manziel. I don't know if you're going to go and sell this on eBay, if you're going to take it to a memorabilia shop. I don't know if this is really for your son. I don't know if this is for you. I don't know what the scenario is. All I know is that you're asking me for my signature, which is part of my individual makeup. This is on my driver's license, and this is part of what makes me the person I am. It's my unique signature, and I should be able to do with that as I please. And I understand Johnny Manziel's mentality behind it. Do we see athletes all the time that are just being good to fans and signing autographs? You know, you had Odell Beckham Jr. signing his name on that guy's forearm, and he ended up getting it tattooed on him. You know, of course. But by the same token, I also understand where some of these athletes are coming from because they have no idea, and now somebody is profiting off of their unique likeness and image, which is that signature. See? And I got to tell you, this was going on when they were making these college football and basketball and all these other video games. That's what that whole lawsuit initially that kicked all this off was with that with O'Bannon, right? That was the deal. You guys are using my likeness, you're using my imagery, you're using the exact way that I played the game of basketball. You're using even the down to the minor details of the kind of armband that I wear. You're using that. You're not paying me, but the university is getting paid. EA Sports is getting paid. Everybody's making money except for the person that exists or the person that is the reason that the video game exists. It all goes hand in hand, guys. No fans, no sports. No athletes to play the sports, then there are no fans. And whether we want to admit to that or not, that is the way that it is. And I got to tell you, there was a stroke of genius by Gavin Newsom, who has said, you know what, this may be the right thing to do alongside with LeBron James, and it is, but you've got to know that he's also thinking to himself, if nobody else is willing to get on this bandwagon or just a couple of states do, we're going to put ourselves in a good position. Why? Because people are going to start flocking to UCLA. They're going to start flocking to Cal. They're going to start flocking to Fresno State. They're going to start heading out there to play football, basketball, and everything else because now they know they can make money off of selling their likeness and imagery predicated upon the talent that they have to people who want to use their likeness and images. And they should be making money off of it. The NFL makes money off of their logo. The NCAA makes money off of their logo. Everybody's got their hand in the pot. And the one person that should be allowed to do it, who's breaking his neck every single game, gets told, no. No, you're here because you're preparing for life afterwards. Football is just a game, and, you know, this is really kind of not that deal, bro. We're not going to pay you. This is an internship. Really? Because when I studied mass communications with an emphasis on sports analysis, there was a radio station in my hometown that told me that I could go and be there as an intern and get paid, and I would get in credits towards my college degree. And on top of that, I would be potentially looking at getting hired on by that company afterwards. So you're going to tell me that I'm allowed to do all that simply because I don't play football or basketball, or I'm not running track, I'm not doing lacrosse, all those things? And before anybody says, well, they could get a job, first of all, even if they could, when would they get time to do it? And secondly, and this is the most crucial thing, they sign deals saying that they are not allowed to work. And even when they do work and they get paid for it, guess what? It's illegal. Go ask Maurice Claret about that. Go ask Coach Tressel about that. Go ask Jim Boeheim, head coach of the Syracuse Orange basketball team, about that. Go talk to KU right now and ask them about impermissible benefits. They have told the NCAA, they have told Kansas that Bill Self, their head basketball coach, has no control over their program, that he is guilty by association. So if the NBA is going to force somebody to play at least 1 year basketball in college, well, the one and done in and of itself is a joke, is it not? So why not, while you're there, also start to make a little bit of money, and it's going to keep people going into college. Because if this continues to go and it ends up coming to fruition, because remember, this act doesn't go into effect until 2023 in January, right? So it's going to take some time before this even goes into effect. We're looking at another basically 3.5 years or so, right? So when you look at that, okay, if this all continues to build, you need to understand what this is going to do. It is going to keep kids going to college now, as opposed to them maybe going to a G League, because, of course, they'll be seen on the biggest stage. Now, the G League is starting to improve greatly. There are more and more athletes that are coming out of the G League, and I still believe that a basketball player should have the right to decide whether or not he wants to go right to the NBA or into college. It should be his right. It's our right to choose. If we don't play sports and we get out of high school and we go, I'm not really sure what I want to do. You may go to college and just take some gen ed classes and be kind of a part-time student and, bust tables or do whatever it is you're doing while you're waiting to kind of see what you want. Or you may go full throttle and go into college and know what you want, or you may take a year off or whatever you want to do, but those are all your choices. Why do we feel like athletes should have no say-so over their own lives? Just deal with it. Why? Why should they just deal with it? Because so many of us have had to just deal with the breaks and just roll with it? No. That's not fair. We don't get to impart our lives onto the lives of somebody else who has the same decision-making skills that we do at that age. It's all a part of maturation. It's all a part of growing up. That's what the college experience is supposed to be. A lot of these kids are on their own for the first time. They're states away from home. They have no idea what it's like. How many of them transfer and go back to some smaller school because they get homesick? They want to be back home. It's not because they're not doing well or that they're not starting at the university that they're at. They just want to be back home. They are literally risking everything. They're putting everything on the line. Their literal health. Don't believe me? Go look at that Green Bay Packers Philadelphia Eagles game from Thursday night. Two people were taken off in stretchers, guys. These kids don't get insurance benefits. If they get hurt, that's it. It's literally coach's discretion as to whether or not they keep their scholarship. And when that coach has choices to make and he's got another person he can put on scholarship, what do you think he's going to do? How often is the right thing done? And even when it is it publicized? No, of course not. I'm going to talk about the good deeds that people are doing out there. Look, the bottom line is this should have been done a long time ago. I'm actually kind of still a little miffed as to why it's not going into effect until 2023. And other states are going to need to get behind this. I know a lot of people are going to say you are creating more problems that are already there, and they're going to maybe point out Kansas and this whole federal case with Adidas and all that. You know what this does? That gives an athlete the right to choose now what he's going to do with his image and likeness. Maybe he wards somebody like that off and says, I really don't need that money. I can go out and create my own money, and I can do it lawfully. Those are the things that I think about. If we pay these students, money, they may say, I don't want to risk being around a booster. Yeah, I've only got $5,000 coming in this year, but it's something. It keeps me afloat while I'm in school. I can get myself some extra food, or I can take somebody out on a date, or I can have a night with some friends, or whatever the case is. I don't have a lot of money to spend. I've got to learn how to budget, part of growing up. And, but it's something. It's something that where they, and I understand that everybody's got a price and some people just don't know how to say no. But you would be surprised what a little incentive does for somebody to affect correct decision making. I am Drew Duncan, host of the Full Court Press. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram is all at Drew Duncan83. We're wherever you listen to podcasts, and don't you dare touch that dial.